Hey y'all. So I've got a word, and it would take me a very long time if I went over all of the dreams and all of the notes that I have to explain. So, and to like, it's multiple dreams that sometimes God gives me a dream, and then later on, maybe a year or so later, I'll have another dream that connects to that dream. And so this is actually coming from like 4 different dreams over the period of like the last year that all connect. But actually like 5 dreams. So it would take me a long time to go over all of the dreams, but essentially there may be some of you who are maybe holding on to, maybe knowingly or unknowingly, holding on to some fears that stem from your childhood, right? Maybe you were neglected emotionally, physically in your childhood, abused emotionally, physically, just not taken care of all around. That could be emotionally, mentally, physically. And there may be someone that hurt you in your past, right? A long time ago, where you pretty much went through a lot of hurt at some point that stuck with you, knowingly or unknowingly, and it may affect your relationships. It may affect, different areas of your everyday life, right? And again, knowingly or unknowingly. Now, and at some point you may have prayed for healing. You may have prayed, God, change me, help fix me, fix this area, fix that area that I'm struggling in. I don't want to be like this. I don't want to have trust issues. I don't want to have rejection issues. I don't want to have, right? And God may be trying to heal you one way or cleanse you in a particular way. And you may be rejecting that deliverance because it may not be happening in the way that you would think God would give you that healing in. So He is trying to release you from this oppression, this mental, emotional oppression that may have stuck with you for a very long time. He's trying to set you free. He may be trying to deliver you. You may have been running from this. So for example, you meet your spouse, right? And then everything's great. And then one of you says yes to God. God comes in, he starts changing things around. Everything falls apart. And God does this so he could rebuild it on his foundation, a foundation built upon him. But in order to do that, he has to come in and cause this destruction and uproot all these things, right? Then you start going on your journey, and your spouse starts rejecting you, right? Your spouse starts rejecting you. They start pulling away from you. They start doing this, and this, right? And it's like hurtful, okay? And you don't understand why it's happening, but you're like, God, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. This person's treating me bad. But God so if you've struggled with so if you had a parent, right, in your early childhood that abandoned you, neglected you, right, just didn't want nothing to do with you, wrote you off, didn't take care of you, didn't protect you, didn't provide for you, didn't, right? That may have stuck with you up until your adulthood, knowingly, unknowingly. And now your spouse is doing the same thing to you that this person a long time ago did to you that hurt you, and you still deal with that hurt from that thing. And it may be neglect, right? Now your spouse is neglecting you. You're like, I don't want to deal with this. I dealt with this a long time ago. I don't want to deal with this. But that may be God's way of healing you from this, facing it head on. When God heals you from things, a lot of the time I figured out he will make you face that thing head on in order to heal you from it. And you may think, well, I'm already healed from that, But if it's triggering you like that, then chances are you're not actually healed completely from it. And so you may be rejecting God's healing and God's cleansing. And it's vice versa. So like the reason that he places us with the spouses that the reason that he puts you and your spouse together is because he knows that you are going to be able to help mirror them in the areas that they need to heal, and they can mirror to you the things that you need to heal, right? It's intentional. And so just like they might trigger you, you might be triggering things in them. So watch this. They may have had someone that walked out of their life, right? And abandoned them. God has you pull away from them and essentially abandon them, but not really, because you're not giving up on them, right? Whenever God has pulled you back and separated you from them, it was intentional on God's part. God may have told you step back from them, right? But you were still praying for them. You never gave up on them. You know the long-term, like what's going to happen long-term, right? You never gave up. God may have pulled you back, but it could have triggered them because in the past they may have been abandoned from someone, right? Someone may have left them and ran away from them and abandoned them, and it hurt them very badly. So it's intentional on God's part to do that, and that is a way of trying to heal them, using you to heal them from their past hurt, right? But when here's the thing, like I said in the beginning, God usually uses things, he places you in the situations in the physical to face those things head on. For me right now, the way that God's given this to me is my dad, biological dad, whatever you want to call him. He was not a father, but you get the point. I actually have not seen him since I was 6 years old, and turns out he was in my neighborhood the other day. I drove past him. He waved at me. He didn't know it was me though. I haven't seen him in over 20 years. He didn't know it was me, and I had sunglasses on, but he waved as I passed, just because, when you pass someone in a neighborhood, you typically wave. And when I saw who it was, I like almost my pants, okay? I was like, oh my gosh. And God was like, and then I had a vision of my dad in my bedroom the other day. And it's almost like God is trying to tell me, like, I am having you face this head on. I'm bringing you face to face with your fears. So like with my dad, he was abusive. He was an addict of alcohol, drugs, physically abusive, mentally abusive, emotionally abusive. He was a cheater. He was pretty much everything under the sun. He was an angry, mean person. Obviously, coming from a spiritual standpoint, it's a spirit. You know that. I know that now, which has made the forgiveness a little bit easier. Looking at it from, we don't fight against flesh and blood, but principalities and all of the things. So, he needs deliverance. He needed deliverance. But, at the same time, you have to accept knowing too that not everybody wants deliverance bad enough. Not everybody's going to make it to heaven, unfortunately, right? And some people just stay the same way for their whole lives. And that's unfortunate, but it happens. And I don't know the case with him. I don't know nothing about him now, but from what I've heard from some people, things have not changed much. But then again, I don't really know. But what God is saying with this is that you can no longer, he's not going to allow you to run from this, to run from your fear. And here's the thing, when he's taking you through this healing process, making you face these things head on, it looks scary. It looks terrifying, right? It's not a place you want to be, right? Because it's bringing you to the past. It's bringing you into that place in here that is scared, right? Because that's what this, like, it's fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of things that is stored in here. And God is trying to get you to move past that and so that you can be set free from this oppression that's been oppressing you for so long. And, you know, he's like, you can't run away from this any longer. You can no longer run from your fears. You need to face them. He's bringing you face to face. And this is going to be this new cleansing. He's cleaning up your hands. He's cleaning up. I don't know if y'all saw that fly by. I've got fruit flies right now. And it all started when I brought home some fruit back in like spring. Some fruit from the grocery store. I love fruit. Fruit's very good for you. But dealing with the fruit flies that come home from the grocery store with this fruit is like the biggest pain in the butt, and they multiply so quickly, y'all. And so it's just like everywhere I turn in my house right now, there's fruit flies. I'm gonna have to put some apple cider vinegar out. I have these like little apple things. I'm gonna have to refill them with the apple cider vinegar and stuff. But yeah, if you saw that, that's what that is. So basically he is trying to set you free from this oppression that's been oppressing you for a long time, right? But, and he is going to be cleaning up, going back to the past, right? And cleaning up all of those things. And, you know, essentially reverting you back to the way that he intended for you to be before all of those things happened to you, right? Before you went through those things, he is trying to return you back to the condition prior to all of those things, right? And one of the dreams that brought me to this word, Holy Spirit was leading me in this dream. So it's Holy Spirit may start leading you right down this path, and you're going to see some things that may scare you, right? That's going to trigger that fear, whatever that fear is that you may be, that's suppressing you. You may see it, right? As Holy Spirit is leading you and guiding you. But this is to set you free. This is, going to, like I said, in the dream, I was back younger, but I was prettier. Not that I'm not pretty now, but, you know, my spirit knew, looking at myself in that dream, that there was like, obviously not perfection, because perfection doesn't exist in us, right? Perfection exists in God and God only. But it was like, there was just this different glow about me, and you could tell that I was like a virgin, right? I was pure. It was just different, right? Looking at me. And so God is basically trying to get you, for whoever this is for, to revert back to original condition, right? Prior to all of this stuff, he's trying to cleanse you and purify you and heal you and get all of that residual stuff, whatever is still holding on to you and oppressing you. He's trying to get rid of it. But, you know, it might look scary because you are going to have to face these things head on. And that could be with your spouse. Like I said, he could be using your spouse to trigger you, or it may not be your spouse. It just may be other situations. He may bring you back to that person in real life that hurt you, right? That caused all of it. I don't know, but, and don't be hesitant don't reject the release. Don't reject this deliverance. Don't reject this healing and this cleansing. You might be hesitant, right? But don't reject it. It's for purpose. And he is sending, rain to wash you. He's placing you in this bathtub, right, to cleanse you. He's cleansing, again, like your hands, right? He's cleansing, and that's like your works, right? I don't know, whatever may be left over, he's cleansing that. Your mouth, okay? Things that you may speak, just whatever it is, it's just a whole cleansing. And it is to revert you back to the condition prior to going through all of these things. He is returning you into this pure state, this state of just being, like I said, almost like a virgin, just very pure. Where there is no fear, there is no anger, there is no bitterness, there is no, whatever it is that you may be holding on to, right? There will be none of that. And he's trying to get you to let go of the past. He's trying to kill off that past. He's trying to get you to completely let go of the past, right? So that you can walk in the fullness of what he has for you. Anger, if anger is one of the things along with fear, anger is just going to, you will perish with anger is sin, depending on how you go, like your actions, right? He had given me max combo, y'all. It's a max combo. In the dream, I had napkins. Well, I didn't have them, but in the dream, it was napkins and it was a bathtub. So it's like, he's saying like the max combo of things that is going to get this out of you, purify you, cleanse you, and heal you so that you can step into the fullness of what he has for you. But keep in mind, it may not look how exactly you think. It's gonna be scary, but don't reject it. Don't reject it. Do not run from it. You need to face it in order to heal it. So yeah, I pray that this made sense. I pray that it gets to who it needs to get to at the right time. As always, if you feel led to sow, my information will be there in the description box. I pray that God bless you guys in return for the seeds that y'all do sow. And I pray y'all have a blessed weekend, and I will see you in my next video whenever that may be. Okay, bye.